Good evening, everyone. It is a huge slate of NHL games here. It's the Daily Fantasy Stats Sprapp from Ken's Talk on Tuesday, November 29th. Whole lot of games, 12 games on the schedule. Let's go through every one of them and highlight the players that we like, because that's what we do here. I'm going to hopefully continue a good run. I did not cash last night. Loaded up on St. Louis, but the scoring was so distributed, and I didn't take Tavares on the Islanders. How could I not do that? So still, anyway, let's move on. It is Arizona against San Jose. Arizona, one of the worst teams in the league. Them and the Islanders. Of course, the Islanders put up the most points of any team last night, I think. Arizona will let up some goals. San Jose will score some. I like the guys on San Jose a little more. There's Verbata. There's Ryder. We'll get some cheap points for you, too, I think, on the third line, because he's also playing on power play, too, there. So if you're going to grab some sleepers on Arizona, Domi, Verbata, those are your guys. San Jose, Pavelski, very solid lately over the past few weeks. We're just looking at the last couple weeks here. I like to see who's hot. Who's that? It's Marlowe, Pavelski. Who's that on defense there? Logan Couture has also been hot. Scored a couple goals. Vlasic, really, they have some scoring. They let me down a couple nights ago, but they're going to keep putting up points probably. Boston not playing great lately. Patrice, Torrey Krug, Pasternak is the guy to grab there because he's just been so solid with some serious points lately. I actually thought he had 2 goals one of those nights. Maybe I got my points wrong. I gotta look at that again. He's been great. Krug on defense. If you want to take somebody, Philly, there can be goals, and Philly will let up some goals. So there could be a lot of offense in this game. Might not be a bad idea to grab some people. Do you grab Backus? Maybe, maybe not. And they got a couple fourth line guys that have put up some points. Well, let's check out Philly. Cost me a little bit of money not taking Wayne Simmons the other night. I probably would have won a tournament if I grabbed him instead of Broussard. Voracek solid, Giroux solid. Strite hasn't been putting up the points lately. Raffle had a decent night last night. Simmons has been the go-to guy 2 of the last 4 games. And Gostisbehere only really 1 game over a couple points in the last 6. So I don't know about Cousins is a sleeper because he comes in on power play 2 as well, second line and power play 2. Donald, and then you got a couple people not on the power play. At least I don't know who that Lubinimov the guy is. I think he's a new player. Maybe want to grab him again if he had 2 goals. I think he had last time. So I think Van de Velde also kind of received some of the benefits of Lubimov's goals. Maybe he passed them to him. I didn't see the game. Anyway, so Philly Boston, there could be some goals here. So I'd keep an eye out for players in that game. Moving on to Buffalo and Ottawa. Ottawa helped me out the other night, big time on Sunday for a big win. How about Buffalo? Well, Jack Eichel is back on the second line. You don't see it in the file because he hasn't played any games this season, so he doesn't have any stats, and that's why he's not showing. But he does look like he's coming back to play tonight. So there's a guy who, if you're not in the know, you won't pick him. Who knows how he's going to come out after this ankle injury? So could be a while. But other than Eichel, Reinhart has been solid up on power play line 1 coming up from the second line. And I don't know if there's anybody else I'm really interested in on Buffalo because Ottawa's been playing so well that I don't want to grab too many guys on Buffalo, but maybe on an entry I might want to throw Eichel in there. Eichel and Reinhart. I think Eichel's going to be playing on the second line, so he'll probably be playing with Reinhart. That might be something up. Poso has had some points also. So there's that. How about my team, Ottawa? Turris, I think, can go off. Carlson can go off. I love that Hoffman and Stone line. Looks like they moved Broussard. Broussard's still on the second line with them, but he's on power play line 2. So if you're going to drop one of them, I got to drop Broussard. It cost me on Sunday. If I dropped Broussard for Wayne Simmons, it would have been much, much better. Well, not too much better, but it would have been better. And who else is hanging out there? Gabriel Pajot can have some nights, but he's not on the power play line. He's just on the third line there. So it gets a little risky with him. How about the Rangers in Carolina? Okay, Carolina Skinner, extremely solid over the past few weeks. Big night. I didn't take him the other night on Sunday either. Also put up 8 points. Victor Rask, same line, but different power play line. Very dangerous. Elias Lindholm, up there on power play line 2 and also first line, a lot of ice time. might not be a bad guy to take. Aho is the guy. If you think that power play line 2 is going to have a big game, then you want to grab Aho, Rask. Who else is on power play? Tuvo had a good run the past few weeks, and then the last 10 days, he really hasn't been putting up the points. I don't know why Victor Stahlberg's getting points there. Rangers, McDonough not really providing much except for one game in the last 10 days. The Rangers, I mean, look at the red and the orange there. They're a team that had really had solid, high-scoring team. I think they were leading the league in goals at one point. And the last week or two, they've fallen to Ottawa. They fell to somebody else, I think, the game before that. And they moved Hayes off. They split up lines at Grabner, Hayes line. They've been messing around the power play lines. They should put things back to the way they were working. I don't know what's going on. Because Hayes is not even on the power play anymore. I think he had been at a certain point. So Stefan, it's toughy. I don't know. Carolina's got good goaltending also. I really am not a huge fan of the Rangers. Pimple, pop that Pimple for a goal on power play line 2. So there's a cheapie there if you think somebody might get something in on a third line or a second power play unit. Dallas and Detroit. Dallas, Jamie Benn, Jr., 9.5 points. I don't even know if he blocked a shot. He might have had more. He power play goal. Honka passed him a couple assists, I think. I'm still torn on Dallas. I didn't take too many of their guys last night. They played just last night. Olasak had, a goal or two? He played great, and it seems like a decent guy to also pick up. He's probably cheap because he's one of these newer guys who's come out. Look at that. I mean, he's only had a 1-point game out of the 4 he played. So he might not be a bad idea. Detroit has been decent defensively and hasn't really put up a ton of goals recently. Franz Nielsen had that big night 2 nights ago, but Mantha is the solid guy to play up on power play line 1. He's the guy who's been kind of making waves with Detroit, and he's the guy to pick up. And I don't know if you stay with Franz Nielsen being hot. He's on power play line 2 though, so you're splitting up lines there. If Franz can have another big night, then Abdicator's probably going to receive a couple assists there. So I like Mantha. Niemi's been playing pretty well. Came off a decent win last night, and the night before, I think he only let in 1 goal. So, iffy. Chicago, back on the scoring trend the last couple games. Kane scoring again. Panarin, Anisimov, that's so dangerous. It's a power play line, and it's the first line. So, Florida, team under new coaching. Don't know how they're going to react. Could go either way, but that is really solid 3 to grab if you grab those top 3 there. And then you can take on defense. Yeah, Hartman and Hinostroza, by the way, have moved up to the second line. So you should see some more ice time for them, but they're not on the power play. So, if they were up on a power play line 2, I'd be more inclined to pick them up. And that was at Seabrook. Yeah, I think it is. Then he might be on the defense there at power play line 1. So how about Florida? Yager has been waking up recently. Barkov also waking up recently. I really don't know how they're going to react under a new coach. Clearly something's going on. Aaron Ekblad has been the guy. I mean, he's just been providing the goals for this team. So him and Marchesino could put up some points there on that power play in 1 if they do. But Chicago's a pretty good team, so probably not optimal picks against Chicago. Next game, we got Minnesota and Vancouver. Minnesota's a team that has been hot offensively lately. There are your guys. Coyle, always liked him. He was originally 3rd or 4th line guy, and he's up and producing. Parise has been nice. Stahl has been nice. Who's that on defense there? I can't read the name, but I highlighted him. Koivu. Niederreiter, look at Niederreiter's points. He's on power play line 2. There are a lot of interesting guys here. Vancouver's a team that's hurting with some injuries. They can give up a few goals as well. They're a decent defensive team, Miller and Nat. I think Miller's playing tonight. But I like Niederreiter, guy who's hot like that, 3 out of the last 4 games, you consider picking him up. I think he might do something, especially on the power play and on the line there. Howell looks like he'll get an assist if there's some third line goals. I don't know if they're going to be going up against the Horvat line. Looks like they've been messing around with things. Vancouver didn't even have a winger on their third line on dailyfaceoff.com, so there's only, I believe, 4 people on the third line I have in here. Louis Eriksson had a goal. He's also on the power play. Minnesota doesn't give up a lot of goals, so by the way, that's Sven. I think Sven is playing on the third line. I don't know because it wasn't on Daily Faceoff, but I think he's there unless he's hurt. So, yeah, I don't know if you can bring him in or not. You need to do some double checking on that. Horvat's a great player, and he's been producing, but, tonight, Minnesota better defensively. It's going to have to be a power play thing. Burrows, they've also been playing really well. I just don't know about the matchup, really. Anaheim. Corey Perry, always solid. Getzlaff, waking up. Cam Fowler, I think Perry's your solid guy to go, but Montreal's a very good team. This game is this game at Montreal? No, this game's in Anaheim, so Montreal's on the road. Raquel also been playing great. Maybe Perry and Raquel. Kessler has still pretty solid 2 or 3 points, but Silverberg's, I think, has a little more potential. Not necessarily. It could be either one of those guys. Kessler's a power play 1, power play 2. How about Montreal? Shea Weber. If you need a defenseman who's going to give you like 3 points or more, Shea Weber's not bad. Galechnik, Radulov. These guys can score. They're on the road here, but Anaheim, a team known to not really have very many shutouts. So I think, Markov, I always like if there's going to be some power play goals. Gallagher, too. Pacioretty can also get in there. A lot of options to choose from on Montreal, and I don't really know what I'm going to go with. There's so many things to pick from. It's really a multi-entry night. New Jersey Devils versus Winnipeg. Okay, now, I don't know how you don't play Camilleri. Winnipeg gets scored on. Hellebuck had a good night the other night, but Winnipeg does let in some goals, and Camilleri's just been out of control. Camilleri and Zajac, I just don't want to miss out on that. Henrique can join the party too, with Zajac on the power play 1, although they moved Camilleri to power play line 2, so maybe you throw Sam Bennett in there, who's on the second line. Maybe do Henrique Bennett. Look at Paterno. Parento also up there on power play line 1. I think that's new. So he might be a little cheaper than normal. Even though he hasn't put up too many points, he's going to get some chances in this game. And you're going to want to also Moore is also on that power play line 2 for the Devils it could blow up the way Camilleri has been playing. So that's not a good grouping or not a bad grouping to grab. Winnipeg, Dustin up the points. Are they going to have a good day? The Devils have been giving up like amazing numbers of goals lately. Shifley is the one who will get that empty netter at the end of the game for you. Ehlers, Wheeler, yeah. And who is that? Second line. I gotta look. I can't read the name, but this was Stafford. I can't see, but there was a big name. I didn't highlight him for a reason. Stafford, if you're going to drop a guy from that line. And actually, no, Drew Stafford can do it on his own. I actually picked him up when he had that 5-point game the other night, and he helped me cash. Colorado, Nathan. I will not stray from Nathan MacKinnon. He's kind of been a staple in my lineup every night that he's playing because he's just money. And I think, I don't know, you can just kind of take him on your own. Even though Nashville's a bad lineup, he's still bound to just sneak through everybody one time throughout the game and get a goal. He's that's why he's at least a 3.5 point guy every game. And Duchesne with him has been playing great. So that power play 1, if you want to grab a couple guys, Duchesne and McKinnon, that's a decent mix to pick up. McGinley's been putting up some goals lately, but Nashville's tough matchup. They're playing well. Ryan Johansson, putting up points. Okay, so then you're Arvidsson, Subban, and Forsberg. Colorado has been playing okay. This game's in Colorado. You get a little more scoring in the thin air. Josie on defense. You pick up some defensemen in this game. That's not a bad idea. Colin Wilson. Now, what is this? What is Colin Wilson, Mike Fisher doing on the third line and then playing on power play 1? You see that's a sneaky little combination that can really put up some points if that power play does get strong. and throw some goals together. So there's a couple sleepers on Nashville. Which I think I like Nashville better than Colorado in this game, especially those two guys at the bottom. Nobody's expecting them. So those are good for a big tournament pick. Tampa Bay and Columbus. Tampa Bay, or let's start with Columbus. So Columbus, a team that Tortorella has been, I mean, he brought the offense with him. And, there you got Werenski, Wenberg. Who's that in the middle there? I think is that Foligno? Brandon Saad is the one who's had the hot hand lately, and I like picking him up. Cam Atkinson also. Cam Atkinson's like been the McKinnon almost of Columbus. So you kind of want to grab this to the different power play lines, but Tampa Bay let up more than a few goals. They had a rough go of it, I believe, just 2 games ago, right? Don't think they won. Now, look at the scoring, though, here. I mean, Kucherov had been great up until the last game. I think he got a fight last game. Hedman's been superb. Schuster's not on the power play. Tyler Johnson, Andre Palat. These are the guys that are going to put up the goals if they have a big game against Columbus. Braden Point on power play 1. That's an interesting pick. He shows he'll throw up a 4.9 every few games. Druin also, I think, had a goal last night. He's on power play line 2. And Kilhorn, you got to pick a power play line and kind of run with it and see, hopefully get the hot one to do well with Tampa Bay in this game. But Columbus is a pretty good team, so Tampa Bay not necessarily the best pick. And I do think they are coming off a loss, if I remember correctly. What else do we have on tap? The last game, Edmonton, Toronto. So here's where you got some goals in this game. This is a big game for goals. McDavid blowing up. McDavid and Lucic and Clefbaum. The 3 of them. I mean, they've been cashing me a couple nights in the last 4 or 5. They've been doing great. Eberle can also jump in on them. There's so many people want to highlight in this game. I don't like Nugent Hopkins. Draisaitl's been great. Also, he's been dangerous. Even only the 2 1.5 point game, he's still played really well. Those are all shots, and he's had some chances. He almost scored a few times. Within Toronto, Van Riemsdyk also been superb. Had a good game against Caps. Had a hat trick a couple weeks ago. Marmer, Bozak can provide, but it looks like Van Riemsdyk and Marmer. Is it Zaitsev? Austin Matthews is the other one you want to have here. He's also up on power play 1. I cut the point on power play 1. So very dangerous against Edmonton, team that lets in some goals. A lot of guys in this game I want. I don't think Kadri also playing stellar hockey right now. I think that, and Komarov's up on power play 1. Yikes. I mean, how many guys can you take on one team? But I see goals in this game. I see a 5-3 game here coming with Edmonton and Toronto. It really feels like it. So let's move and take a look at everybody from yesterday to finish off and show you the 2 games that happened yesterday. There was Dallas, there was St. Louis, the Rangers, and was it the Rangers yesterday? No, it was Calgary and Philadelphia, right? No, wait a minute. The games are all bleeding together. They'll show me as soon as I unfilter this. I'll tell you the 4 teams that were playing. But I know it was Dallas, St. Louis, and it was the Islanders, and Calgary. Now, your biggest scorers and the teams they were playing for and who they were playing against are showing. You can see Jamie Benn, who I decided not to take yesterday, had the big game. I didn't think Dallas was going to pull it off, but they did. Olsak also provided there, and he's going to be cheap. So if you think he's going to do it again, go for it. Tavares, I also didn't take. I did have Tarasenko. Fabry's the guy that actually played extremely well last night and deserved those 5 points. Laterra played well. Honk I didn't pick up because I didn't think he was going to be. Did get a couple assists. Monahan came out of nowhere even with reduced ice time. But anyway, good luck to you, and Ken Sucks out for today.